My last question is, of all the things we've talked about today and everything else that's going on in your life and the world, what is the most important thing we should have talked about that we didn't talk about?
We covered a lot of territory. I'm impressed by the diversity of what we got to cover. Thank you. We went deep. I don't know if there's anything that off the top of my head right now. I do think that I hope people leave with the idea that if I'm stressed in my life, I got to stop managing. I got to start creating. And that sounds like just an overwhelming thing, but it's like creating life on your terms, like deciding what are the immutables. It's like if you want to take the island, you've got to burn your boats. If you have a way to go back, the mind will rationalize and you will go back. But if you really are committed to a greater quality of life, you got to master the science of achievement and the art of fulfillment. And fulfillment is not like achievement. There's very cool real rules for achievement, like what to do with your body. Multiple ones, but there's certain fundamentals that are immutable. What to do financially, certain things that are immutable. Fulfillment, that success without fulfillment is failure. And fulfillment is an art. It's not a science. It's different for you and me and everybody we meet. And so I'll tell you one real fast example. I know we've gone over in time. Steve Wynn's a good friend of mine, built most of Las Vegas. Brilliant guy, absolutely brilliant. And one day, Steve calls up. He goes, there's a painting that I have coveted for over a decade. And he goes, I just recently outbid everybody at Sotheby's, and it just got delivered, and you got to see it. And I said, okay, I can't see it. I said, but I got to ask a question. How much did it set you back? And he goes, $86.9 million. I go, $86.9 million? Okay, I got to see what an $87 million painting looks like. So I go to his house. He takes me in, shows me this wall. It's a red square. It's a Rothko, if you know what a Rothko is. It's a red square. And it's not totally red, a little red and orange, right? And I look at him and go, Steve, they missed some spots. And he looks at me and gives me the look, and I start to tease him a little bit. I go, Steve, if you give me $100 worth of red paint, and you give me 10 minutes, I think I can match this. And I'm just screwing with him a little bit. He knows I'm screwing him. He goes, you know, this is a Rothko. I said, I know. He goes, no, but you don't know. Like, you know, he committed suicide. He tells me the whole story, right? And I go, well, that better be blood if he was for $87 million, right? But the reason I tell you this story is it's not making fun of Steve. It's making fun of me. He can look at that and he can barely see, and he knows what every stroke means. It has meaning for him. He knows what it's about, what it means, what the uniqueness of it. He knows the man's life. I see a red square. He has an experience. The richness of life is when you go deeper and figure out what makes you feel like it's a red square for someone else, but this is your thing. This is what fulfills you. I know what fulfills me. Family, love, as you can probably tell, and contribution in a meaningful way light me up like a Christmas tree, and they've made me go for 66 years and it'll keep me going, right? But people got to find what that is for themselves, because if you succeed and you're not fulfilled, what do you got? How many people have taken their life as super successful on the surface, but they weren't fulfilled? Some of the people made everybody on earth laugh when they took their life. Some people did businesses and took their life. You don't want, I don't think most people are going to take their life, but you don't want to live more decades and not really be here, not experiencing fulfillment. So my passion is to help people be fulfilled, not just achieve.
Amen. I mean, I've got so many other photos that I might as well show you, the ones that...
This is the moment my wife and I met.
That is the moment you met.
Literally the moment we met. How did she get
Beautiful
this?
one.
That's my mom. That's Jim Robbins. This man adopted me.
I have this one here.
Oh, that's down. This one is actually down in Haiti. I went down there. That's where the first group of people went to save all these kids. These were kids that had been trafficked. Yeah, my brother and sister. Wow. You do your homework. Very impressive.
We have a closing tradition where the last guest leaves a question for the next, not knowing who they're leaving it for. And the question left for you is, if you could choose your life span, how long would it be? And at what point would you choose to die?
That's a great question. Well, I certainly would want to live as long as my family does. And now I've got to live a little longer because I got a 4-year-old. I don't know if I'd want to live forever. I don't know, there's talk about, uploading your consciousness to a machine and so forth. I believe in spirit and soul. I don't know if that's going to be uplift to machine. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just the process, but I want to leave as much legacy as possible. I want to live as long as I'm interested and useful. Those are the two things that are really matter. And my minimum, I think, is 92 is my goal, as if I had control, right? Life will tell me. But 92 is a number that somehow I've had in my head. And with some of the boosts we have with biochemistry and element stem cells, who knows? Maybe it goes past 100. But I think a century of living and giving would be an extraordinary experience for me. I don't know if I'd want to live for eternity, but I'm not at that point where that's really a choice, so I don't have to think about it. I will tell you, the only fear that I've really felt in my life was dying too soon. I think part of my drive early on was just I want to squeeze everything out of life while I'm here. I don't know where it's come from. I think, a couple things could have contributed to it, but I think death was a good counselor for me. It gave me drive. Today, it's not a fear for me other than I want to be here as long as I can for my family and for especially all my children, but especially my youngest. But yeah, that would be my answer. I'd say not forever, but as long as I'm useful and helpful and I can enjoy it all.
You used the word legacy there.
Yeah, well, legacy is what I leave when I'm gone. In other words, I don't have to be here to continue to have impact, right? It's like that's the best part of life. I looked at, leadership is influence, right? What makes you a leader is your ability to influence thoughts, feelings, emotions, actions of another person. If you're a positive leader, for good. And I look at levels of influence. One is, can you influence someone to change their state? Then it's, can you influence them to change their state when you're not there? So you're no longer a manager, right? You've changed their values. Could you change your state and they're not there for a group of people, right? Could you change your state with a mass number of people and you're not there, right? That to me is the ultimate level of influence. And now with audios and videos and AI, especially with AI, I've got an AI that's amazing. I mean, we have 4.9 on Apple and people love it and their lives changed by it. And I'm working right now with another group to create a platform for interventions and therapy that's not just me with AI, because there aren't enough therapists, there aren't enough great therapists in the world. I want to have that. It's already in 50 languages, so the whole world. I want to leave a legacy that the world has people that can help them 24/7, 365. And I think AI is one of the tools. It's getting better and better to do that.
And what happens when you die? Where'd you go?
I don't think anything in the universe, I know nothing in the universe ever destroys, it changes form. What does that look like? Do I have conscious awareness as I do now? I don't know the answer to that question. All I want to do is make sure I live fully while I'm here, and whatever's next, when it shows up, I'll take that journey.
Thank you so much. For so many reasons. I think you've been a mentor to so many of us for so long in so many ways. Whether it's, I remember how profoundly impacted I was when I watched your piece on Netflix. And
I'm Not Your Guru, yeah.
Yeah, that was really the front door for me into your world. I'd seen your work before. I'd read the books and stuff, but for me, that was really a paradigm shifting moment. I think it was in that documentary where there was a young man who was suicidal. Yeah, it was that one, the Netflix. I'm Not Your Guru.
There was one. That's how it started, actually.
Matthias.
Yes,
Matthias. That was what, 6 years ago?
No, that was 2014.
2014.
So
okay, wow.
Years ago. Yeah.
Gosh.
There was a young woman there also. I don't know if you remember the young woman that was in that sex cult where they made the children have sex with the adults. That one was very emotional. I was down in Brazil and I was doing a seminar for, about 10,000 people, and I'm walking through the aisle and this woman kept looking at me, and then I didn't realize it. She goes, "Don't you recognize me?" And it was her. She got herself out of the group. She wrote a book. She's now a therapist. She helps other people get out of it. So it's really fun to see years later. We actually did a follow-up at the 7-year mark or something like that afterwards to show what happened with these families. It's been really nice to see.
Did you say his name was Matthias? Matthias, I believe. Matthias. He just wanted to, he sent an email just to say that, for anyone that doesn't know, he was a guy in the audience who had suicidal ideation and was clearly struggling.
Yeah.
It's been a decade roughly since then. You supported him, you helped him, and he's just sent an email to say that attending that event that day was a huge dream for him, and the experiences that he got from that have completely changed the trajectory of his life. And those memories continue to impact him as he continues to support his growth, his habits, his decisions, and his outcomes. And he wanted to send his regards to you for that.
That's really kind of him to reach out. That's nice. I love seeing people a year later, 10 years later, 20 years later. That's the great gift of my life. I walk down the street anywhere on earth, Sahara Desert. It's happened to me in China. People come up and say, "You changed my life." And I always remind them, I didn't change the life you did, but glad I got to help. What happened? And then they tell me stories. And outside my family, there's nothing that gives me more joy than to hear those stories.
Well, you've done that for more people than I could possibly receive emails from. Hundreds, billions, really. if we're counting the amount of people, the amount of meals you fed through the work you've done through your company. You've invested tremendously also in saving the planet through your green energy investments, which we didn't get to talk about today, but I'm going to link that below for people to read about.
One thing I would mention, if I may, is Paramount approached me, and we now have a 24-hour-a-day channel. And it's a fast channel, so it's free advertised supported television. It's a TV I grew up with instead of cable. So if you go to whether it's Pluto, or if you go to Roku, or if you go to Amazon Prime and you look for live TV, there's the Tony Robbins Network. And 24 hours a day, there's content there that's free that anybody can watch and educate themselves, and it's full of interventions like these that you talked about. So I hope some people will check it out, because it's another way I'm trying to give people a gift to support their lives. I'm
going to link that below. And also I'm going to put a link below to your free 3-day virtual event called Time to Rise, which I think we mentioned.
Oh yeah, please come to that. You don't mind to say come. You can do it from anywhere in the world, your office, your home. And it's coming up on the 29th through the 31st of January.
And it's perfect timing at the start of the new year.
Yeah, exactly.
People thinking about making a change in their life. I'm going to link that below as well. If anybody wants to attend, it's free, 3 days. And it's, I think it's a great continuation of the conversation we've had today, because we've talked so much about change, a changing world, and how to change thyself. And that's what you've done for me. It's what you've done for so many people. And it's an absolute honor. It's actually, for me, I have certain moments in the job that I do where I think, fucking hell, like, how lucky and grateful am I to get to do this? And this is one of those such moments that is a real dream for me, because you're such a huge inspiration to me. So thank you so much, Tony, for your graciousness. I appreciate it.
I just want you to know I feel the same way. I feel like you're the next wave of contribution to this world, and you're doing an amazing job already, but I've got a ticket to your parade. I'm going to watch how you evolve over the next couple of decades. And I know your contributions will only grow, because I feel the sincerity in your heart, not only to grow, but to give. And I hope that you continue to move towards that love and contribution that you're talking about, because I think that's your true essence. I think that's really what drives you anyway.
I think so too.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.